Look, the biggest podcast where you can learn them lessons. Line for line where you can learn from different sections. Made it out the mud, come tell your story, blessings. Never know who listening, never know who stressing. Devon gave you a voice, come speak your honest truth. Line for line, go bar for bar, it's up to you. Wanna talk sports, gov, and politics? Wanna talk about where you from and your accomplishments? The Line for Line is really where you need to be. A platform that's really made for folks like you and me. You can find it all no matter what you seek. Whether you calling or you listening, tune in every week.
All right, just like that, we're back on another episode of Line for Line Podcast. Before we introduce this very special guest, we'll tell you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave an interactive comment for me and my guests. Just like that, we'll have him introduce himself to the world.
Hi, man. My name is Andrew McNairy, formerly known as the world's Coach Duke. I coach basketball at MATC and also run Mark Your Moment Showcase.
Yes, sir. Now, as we get ready to start this phenomenal episode, just go ahead and tell them just a little bit about you, maybe where you grew up, what that was like for you.
Man, I grew up here in Kenosha.
For real? Kenosha?
I grew up in Kenosha and Racine.
Let's go.
And Chicago. So I was born in Chicago. Lived there till about 6, 7. Ended up moving to Racine. I was there till my 8th grade year. Mm. Then I ended up moving to Kenosha. And it was so weird because I never knew what junior high was. So I went from middle school thinking I'm finna go to a high school. Mm-hmm. And found out I was back still like in middle school. So that was weird, but it was cool, man. I went to Lincoln when I got up here.
Okay, Lincoln Park neighborhood. Okay, I see you out here.
Yeah, so it was cool, man. I knew 2 people from Racine that moved up to Kenosha. So, it was one of those basketball things where Racine was always like, man, we better than anybody in Kenosha. So when I got there, I was like, Jarvis, who the best 2 basketball players? And he was like, David Topher and Brandon Morris. So when the next time y'all hooping, shooting them out, So it was one of those things, and we ended up all just becoming cool. So we used to always meet at Lincoln Park. We had school probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We meet there like 6 o'clock. So we you take a shower and do everything before school. You go into school just sweating like you just played, 8 games outside, and yeah. You got to retake a shower, and it's only 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then you go into school. Yeah. So, it was fun back then to me. I loved it here in Kenosha, to be honest with you. And I grew up here. I'm not sure if you want me to just keep going.
Tell your thing.
We ended up growing up here, ended up playing basketball. I played for a guy named John Noel. Everybody called him Big John. Mm-hmm. Big John had a reputation where he helped out. He did everything for the kids. Man, John was just a genuinely great guy. Literally, when I moved to Kenosha, I never paid for any basketball shoes, a pair of shoes in my life since I was in Kenosha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, John made sure we was always straight. We played on his AAU team. We all this was before, EYBL and Adidas and all this jazz. It was just AAU, so it didn't cost $1,000 or anything like that. You just had a regular reversible jersey with whatever on there, and then y'all went. But no, we had a great experience in that. Ended up going to Kenosha Trimper.
Come on, man. I was just talking about that on the episode. I can never get no Bradford people on here, man. Come on.
I heard you say that. I heard you were super excited when she was on here.
Yeah.
But no, we ended up going to Kenosha Trimper, man. Me and a guy named Keenan Johnson, we were debating on if we was going to go to St. Joe's or not, because we actually got asked to go to St. Joe's.
Oh, for real?
So he was like, do we want to go? It was one of those things to where we just always felt like we going to play against them all the time. We didn't want to have like a super team here in Kenosha. Mm-hmm. We wanted to do our own thing. And we just always felt that way. They had a little summer league here, and we just always played against everybody, me and my friend Keenan. Was a situation, but our senior year, we were really good at Trimper. We ended up going to state that year. It was like the first time ever in history.
For real?
Yep. We went state. St. Joe's went state, so it was 2 teams from Kenosha that actually went to state. So unfortunately, we both lost in the first round.
Oh,
no. We lost to the champs, I can at least say that. But no, so we had it was great, man, back then, and ended up going to college after that. Just like most of us, I ended up going to a community college. I went to a school down in Missouri. It was really cool, man, because I ended up seeing Brandon and them a lot because they was in Iowa Western. Mm-hmm. So in junior college, you got these things called JUCO jamborees. So it's just like an AAU tournament. Mm-hmm. You played 3 games. You played 3 games in 5 hours. But you playing in front of Baylor, Cincinnati, So it's one of those. Dogs. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a guy from, I forgot where he's from, school in Kansas. But he did like 6 years in prison. Came out, and this dude was just unbelievable. He did 1 year of junior college and went straight from the junior college, and it was the D League back then. So he went straight from junior college to the D League to professional.
No way.
Yeah. But no, it was tough back then, and after that, the school I went to in Missouri was crazy. Like that was the first year they just restarted the school back open, mm-hmm. and they had the Klan, and they closed the school down because of the Klan.
Nuh-uh.
It was crazy. So when we got there, none of us never visit the school. And I say none of us didn't visit, mm-hmm. except the people that lived in Missouri. So we had players like my guy Rodney, who coaches he's a head coach at Lynn University's NAI in Georgia. Rodney's from Carolina, so we called him Carolina. Elijah, he coaches down in NAI in Louisiana now. We called him, New Orleans, so hey, what up, whoa? That's all he said to everybody, but it was 13 African Americans only in this town. I mean, only 13 African Americans in this town, and we were all on the basketball team. And literally, when you first got there, we pulled up. It said, Trenton, Missouri welcomes the Klan.
No, it does not.
I was like, what? So I'm like, Reggie from Milwaukee, we rode up there together. I said, Reggie, I'm tripping? Or did his mama was like, did that just say So I called my mom immediately in the car, like, hey, Mom. It said, my mom like, hey, I don't care. They giving you a scholarship. We ain't paying for nothing. You get your financial aid money back. Hey, you finna make it work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and it was just crazy down there. But it actually made us grow and stick together. Mm-hmm. We all still to this day talk, like all the time. So it's one of those things to where, I wouldn't trade my experiences for the world. Yeah. And it was one of those things to me, it made me better. It made as a better person. It made me, treat life, just way more. I'm like, man, it's so much more in life, especially where there's a lot of stuff I took for granted out there, whereas once I got out there, I was like, man, it's, life's a blessing.
Yes, sir.
So it was one of those things. It was weird too. So they'll be riding down the street. We'll cut them. I mean, during the game, they cheering for you and everything. Right after the game, boy, they playing Nelly, riding past, they see you, and they call you every racist word in the book.
No way. Even though they were just cheering for you?
Yeah, I just was cheering 30 seconds ago. And now you calling us these words and you listening to Nelly. I don't get it. I don't get it. But no, but I mean it was a great experience. We had a lot of great talent down there. So I ended up transferring from there. I ended up going to a school called Mid-State Tech, another community college. We did pretty good there, actually. So we ended up going to the national tournament, had a really good team. Our best player was a guy named Devontae Wade. He ended up signing with University of Green Bay out of high school.
Okay.
But it was some fluky stuff with his ACT scores.
That Derrick Rose stuff?
Yeah, I don't know what went on. But he ended up not getting in. He went to junior college, and this dude was just... He was just unreal. And he broke every record at the school. You'd have thought he's 6'9". He literally was like 320, 330. And he can dribble like a guard, shoot like, he was a shooting guard, monster on the boards, and he was just huge. So so it was to the point where they was trying to recruit him for football as well. For like tight end, because I don't care if you triple team him, he's gonna catch it. He'll like just throw it. I'm gonna catch it. Dude was unreal. But he got recruited by everybody. Florida, Purdue. Every other day it was like Florida, Purdue, Oklahoma, and Illinois was the top 5 consistent schools. Like every day we had a really good team. Another guy named Dan DeMars. He was from like a small town near Minnesota and Wisconsin on the border. But dude was unreal as well. 6'7", lefty, can go. Caucasian guy, and he was fearless. I mean, played in the summer league where Kevin Garnett dunked on him.
Nah.
Next play, he tried to dunk on Kevin Garnett and got fouled because that was just Dan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he sees some grass on the floor, Dan hungry, Dan just start biting grass. Dan was different. You know? But I mean, we had a great team. Unfortunately, Dan ended up leaving that semester because he thought he wasn't going to get the grades. Mm-hmm. He did, but if he would have got like, instead of a C, if he'd got a C+, he would have been able to graduate and get to this D1 because he had a lot of D1 stuff as well. Coach them told him no, he's not going to get it, which he really did. But they were trying to make him get not the C, the C+, and he ended up just enlisting into the military.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, he just enlisted? They was like, what? It was just like a big thing. So we ended up missing him that semester, and then we ended up losing in the nationals. But good thing after that, we ended up going down to Parkside. Didn't work out for me. Not gonna lie, it was a little bit on me. Me and school didn't work out that well.
Oh no!
But then I ended up going to an NAI. Ended up working out. After that, I ended up moving back to Kenosha, and I did a spiral where most people, it's weird. Most people start doing right after college, and I was just backwards. Mm-hmm. It just spiraled down for me. So it was one of those things to where I knew the crowd I was hanging out with. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things to where I knew. I'm sorry for laughing. No, you fine. I already knew. Like, it was a lot of crazy stuff I did. And then one night happened, and we lived in the condos where me and my roommate lived in some condos. We was the only younger people living in the condos where we lived at. And we told some people we was going out that night, and we didn't. We didn't go out. It's crazy because I'm not sure if you ever seen this movie called Shatters.
Shatters, yeah.
So we had a projector on the wall. It was weird. We had a projector on the wall. We got flat screen on over here on top of our entertainment system. Then we got like a 30-inch inside the entertainment. We was just doing too much. So I was watching Shatters. I was asleep. Then I woke up and I just heard all this rumbling. So I was like, what? So then I looked back up, went back to sleep. Then I just jumped up. I was like, what is that? I looked up. I seen a gun in my roommate head. Then I seen a gun in his friend head. Then I looked up on mine. Then I seen the gun in my head. So, they masked up. And then once he said something, I knew who it was.
Oh, for real?
So I was like, hey, man, what is your... And then next thing you know, I had a blanket on me. I was asleep. So I dropped the blanket. And as soon as I dropped the blanket, I don't know if they thought I had a gun or something. So then they shot. And I didn't know they shot. I just thought I got hit. I just thought he hit me with the gun. Mm-hmm. But next thing you know, I'm bleeding off the top of my head, not knowing that it grazed me. Mm-hmm. So my roommate, this dude was crazy, man. This dude was already on some stuff. So they shot him. He got shot like 6 times. D1 football player, bigger guy. So he got shot like 6 times. He got shot 4 times in his legs, twice in the arm. And he still was running.
No.
So cause he was already on some stuff. So and then he hit one of them. It was just a crazy spiral to where get to the hospital. I didn't know I'm shot. I just know I'm bleeding off the top of my head. So ended up talking to the detectives. They was in there, and it's so weird because they're like, "Where's the girl?" I'm like, "Who is the girl?" So my roommate just told him a crazy story. So they just went off what he said. So it was just one of those things to where it was just crazy, man. So nobody ended up getting charged, anything like that. It was just what they told me. They showed me pictures, and then you just seen like a little black hole right where I was laying at. So I'm like, oh, they tried to kill me? Yeah. So it was one of those things. So I ended up leaving. I literally left Kenosha that next day, moved down to Louisville, Kentucky with my brother. I was down there for about a good 2-3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Man, I ended up getting carjacked going to a job interview.
What were you driving, like a Mercedes or something?
No,
like that?
man, it wasn't nothing special. It was just an old Pontiac.
Oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing special. Next thing you know, though, they literally took my shirt. I had a dress because I was going to an interview, so they took my dress shirt, my dress shoes. I had a honey bun in my pocket. They took my honey.
Why did they take the honey bun?
That's what I was like. You got the honey bun? Like it was crazy. So, but it was a blessing in disguise. It's crazy how God works. Mm-hmm. It really is. So, like I told you, I was doing so much crazy stuff. I was hustling, doing all the other stuff, and when you hustling, you don't keep the same number. Mm-hmm. So I was changing my number every other month, every 2 months. I was just changing my number. So I get a call from my college coach. I'm sorry, literally after carjacking and everything come in.
Also, they didn't take your phone then, at least.
Huh?
They didn't take your phone then?
No, because I'm sorry. No, they didn't take the phone.
Okay.
Nope, didn't take the phone. Next thing you know, my brother and them come in the house, and he like, what's going on? Shares, I'm like, man, I just got carjacked. He like, what? I was like, I literally just got carjacked. I'm running down the street because I don't got nothing. I'm in the beater and some dress pants. So a lady see me. She just pulls over and she's like, excuse me, are you okay? You need some help? I was like, yes, I do, actually. I just got carjacked. She was like, all right, where you need to go? I'll give you a ride. So she gave me a ride to my brother's house. I'm over there. I'm just like, still kind of freaked out a little bit because it's just like, why do all these guns keep getting pointed at me, basically? So it's one of those type of situations. I called the police. It was one of those situations where I was just so mad because the cops didn't help out the situation. They was just like, first question he asked, so what kind of car you had? I said, huh? He said, what kind of plates was they? I said, Illinois plates. He said, oh, you was prime suspect number 1.
No, what?
That's the first thing he said.
No, he didn't.
I was like, that's the worst sheriff in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you was prime suspect. No, they was looking for you.
What?
So I'm like, okay, just let me know if I ever come down to Kentucky again. I got to get a rental car with some Kentucky plates.
Yeah.
I told my brother, well, I'm just not coming around your way no more. But it's a situation, man. It was crazy, how much that happened. But like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. My coach called me. He was like, hey, Duke, I just got I'm sorry, not even my coach. My wife now, my girlfriend at the time, she called me. She was like, hey, would you move down here? I was like, where? She's like, Oak Creek. I was like, no, you couldn't pay me to move to Oak Creek. So then I get a call literally from my coach like a half hour later. Hey, Duke. I'm like, how did you get this number? And I just kept saying that to him. He like, Duke, this coach. I said, I know who it is, but how did you get this number? I'm just still freaking out about like, how did you get this number? He's like, Brett gave it to me. I'm like, how did Brett get the number? Mm-hmm. I don't even talk to Brett like that, so we ain't talk to him like that when we was teammates. So I'm like, all right. He called, and then he says, would you want to come down here and coach with me? And I was like, college? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, I definitely do that. He's like, you really good with people and players, so why don't you I just need you to recruit for me. I was like, bet. I was like, where at? He's like, oh, I ain't tell you where I got the job at. It's a place called MATC.
Oh, Milwaukee area.
Yeah. He said, would you want to come down there? He's like, I know it's not where we was at, but he was like, would you want to come down there? I was like, where at? He was like, meet me at the Oak Creek campus. And I literally just told my girl, I was like, you can pay me to move to Oak Creek. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll be there tomorrow. So I ended up, told my brother, no, I'm out of here. I'm finna go back to Wisconsin. So I ended up going to Oak Creek, and it's literally been a blessing in disguise ever since.
Yes, sir. So now, just a couple takeaways from that story. You said Big John was a coach name that helped you out when you were young, right, with shoes and everything like that. What would you say are some of the lessons that you implement in your day-to-days that he taught you or maybe helped you out with when it comes to you and your players?
Really sticking by people. I mean, I think I was blessed to just have the right people around me in my life. My mom's like that. My dad's very tough on you. My dad, like, I mess with my dad to this day. I'd be like, hey, Dad, I love you. He's like, boy, you better go with that.
Oh,
I do it on purpose because I know he loved me, but he's You know, we old school like that. He's Chicago, he's city, and we don't do that soft stuff. So I just mess with him like that. But he always still look out for everybody. My mom was the type of person that looked out for everybody that came around, you know. So you didn't have it, she made sure you had it, you know. Mom, you got into a situation where family got kicked out or something like that, or something happened at your household, you can't go back for a few days, she'll take you in like that, you know. So it was one of those things to where, and Big John was the same way, you know. Big John took everybody in, you know. So it was one of those things to where I don't care what it was, what you needed, what was going on, he was always there for you.
Yes, sir.
You
yes,
know,
sir.
you get stuck somewhere, you need your car, you know, some change to your car, some on this, some on that. If he can't do it, he knows somebody who can. So he was just one of those, a great guy,
yes,
you
sir.
know. So to me, I think he didn't get the respect he deserved here in Kenosha.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. At what point was it when you knew you were destined to be a coach?
I always thought I could. It's one of those things. It's like, excuse me, when you're a coach, it's so many different variations of being a coach. You know, to me, that's why I always think you got to have assistants. You know, and it's not just really coaching. Like I try to compare it to life. Everything you do to me is about life situations. You know, so in coaching, I know our head coach. I just knew I always was good with people, you know, always just liked it people, just like being around people. So if I can give you certain advice on certain things, or I would do that, you know, that's just me as a person. But coaching wise, I always was pretty smart on the court. I was never athletic, you know, so it's one of those things. I'm not going to go out here and dunk on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not me. I was never faster than anybody on the floor. You know, even when I played at Trimper, they used to have me running. I was a point guard, but I always ran with the third team. So it was like you know, you got the point guards and the shooting guards running. And then you got the small forwards or some of the faster power forwards running. Then you got the big guys. I ran with the big guys.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was a slower dude. So it's one of those things, but I was very smart. You know, so I knew how to use certain ways. I knew how to defensively. I was great. Shooting wise, I was pretty good at that. So it was passing wise, I was great. I knew how to read certain stuff. To me, basketball, if you can pass the ball, you can be a good defender, because you already know where most people finna throw that pass to. You already know where it's finna go. You already kind of know where this guy is finna go, or if you cut this person off, or if you do this. He only got one or two options. To me, it's like chess. You already kind of know what that next step is if you play this way. If I play you this way in my head, he only got one other choice but to do this way. So I always thought like that on the court. So to me, in life, it's about really making that next step. You know, so we always compare everything we do with coaching-wise to life. I always do.
Okay. What would be the number one advice that you usually give to your players that you want them to take with them outside of basketball as well?
To me, is treat it like it's your last, and also treat it like this is the only opportunity you got. What I always tell people, because we're a community college, so now in junior college wise, people go to junior college because you didn't get recruited Division I. Or that Division II university, or you can go to Division II, but you don't want to go Division II. You can go Division I, so you want to go to junior college now. Before, if you ask anybody about junior college, they're like, man, I ain't dumb. That's what they used to always say. No, my kid grades is great. Or, no, I got good grades, I'm good. Now I'm trying to get to that next level, so what do I need to do? And with us, it's more about really, I always preach, dude, this life. Treat it like this is life. A lot of y'all, do y'all travel outside? Do y'all travel as a family? Like when your family is around, when you at home, or even growing up, did y'all go to vacations? Most people I ask them this every year. 9 times out of 10 of the people on our team are going to say no.
Really?
We didn't go on family vacations. We don't go on family trips. I know so many people that I grew up with in Chicago that ain't never been downtown Chicago.
No way.
That ain't never been downtown Chicago. Like, I know so many. It's crazy. It's so many. Like, my friend Rohead, who does like the Kratis jerseys.
He got my stuff on the way too.
Yep, I seen it.
Yeah.
So Ro started this tournament stuff. He started doing all that in the NYBT. He started doing that in Waukesha.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many teams I knew that went out there, and they kids was like, we ain't never been outside of Milwaukee. Like, Waukesha was a trip for them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it's one of those things too. It's like, if y'all ain't never been on vacation or never really traveled like this, look where this ball done took you. Like, where have y'all been in life? Some people that's been in Argentina, Russia, here, just from basketball. You know, so it's one of those things where don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
This little ball, you know, I don't care what sport you play. I don't care if you play football, baseball, tennis, whatever, golf, whatever you play, but you got to travel. You got to go to school for free. You know, you got to do so much. You got to meet so many people. You know, take advantage of that. You know, because most people always think in their head it's Division I or nothing, D1 or nothing. No, you in the era now where everybody had this thing called the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you that type of caliber person, they gonna find you. You know, I try to preach that to everyone. Even though if I could think you're a Division I talent, I still try to preach that to you. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know the situation. You don't never know what life's gonna bring to you. You might get into a car accident. You know, you might have a situation where you try to dunk on somebody, you fall wrong. You know, now you might not be playing basketball no more. Now, what is that next step? You know, so that's what I'm always trying to preach. It's weird. And like I had to tell my kids school this. I think I got to stop talking to my kids. Like, I tell my kids, like, no, that's not life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But they only 5. I mean, they were only 5 at that time. Nope, that's not life. In life, this is what you know, but that's really what I try to preach to our kids, man. It's like we released this year, we were 29-6.
Oh, wow.
Since we've been given scholarships, we are 93-12 officially since we've been given scholarships. We've been given scholarships 4 years. We didn't play last year, but we played as a club team. So if you really count that, we were 102-18. Mm-hmm. But we don't count it because we played as a club. So our first year we was 34-5, went to the national tournament.
Oh, wow.
Finished 4th there. Our second year we finished 35-1, number 1 in the country. Unfortunate situation, COVID hit. We are a Division II college. So we played Triton right down the street in Chicago. Mm-hmm. They're top 10, top 15 every year for Division I. We swept them. We was actually up by 31 at their house.
Wow.
They were top 12 in the country for Division I. We was up 31. We had just beat them at our place. And we were unreal that year. I'm not going to lie to you. But it was one of those things to where we was trying to preach to our kids, our players, the same thing, you know. So look how quick this stuff can be taken away from you, you know. So that year was 34-5. COVID year still hit. And then this year we was 29-6. This is our worst year that we ever had.
Yeah.
We lost 6 games. You know what I'm saying?
If that's your worst year, I don't know what a great year is. Looks like if you only lost 6.
You know, so it's one of those things, too, to where we went from, when we first got here, none of us is from Milwaukee. Our staff, none of us is from here. So we looked at it as, this is our job. People here in Milwaukee looked at it as, man, this is just more junior college coaches. But we looked at it, this is our job. So we literally try to change everything you could possibly do about Milwaukee, MATC. We got new jerseys for the first 6 years just to try to change the colors of it. You know, what can we do? Change the logo? No, the logo finally just got changed after 14 years, but we was trying to do everything possible. We go to a gym. No, I didn't even know MATC had sports. You know, coach, we talked to a coach. No, I don't even want my players going to MATC.
Why is that?
They just looked at it as like a last chance type of thing, you know. So it was one of those things to where I said, all right, skip it. I'm going to just go outside the state. So I literally had so much success outside the state because most people don't they just want to get outside wherever they from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where they from. You're in Los Angeles, you're in California, you in Houston, whatever. You grew up there. You've been there your whole life. So you want to experience life. So I'm like, bet. I'm finna just go outside the state. We're downtown. We got housing on Marquette campus.
Oh, wow.
We got a great situation. They just turned the Journal Sentinel building. Excuse me. They just gutted the Journal Sentinel building out and turned it to all MATC housing apartments.
No way. Stop playing.
It's over 1,000 units.
I'm about to stop this interview if you keep playing around.
Like, it's crazy down there. I'll show you the video after this. The housing is crazy. Like, I told him, I said, do you actually feel like you living in like somewhat of a high rise downtown, type thing. So 10% now is Marquette, 10% is MSOE, and then 10% is UWM. I'm like, do you winning? So this is all right there. Everything's included. You got your washer and dryer right there as well. In the unit. Everybody has, it's fully furnished already. I mean, granite countertops, granite this, that. I mean, it's too nice for college students in my book. Yeah. Just to be honest with you. But it's one of those things where you're there, right across the street from the Buck Stadium. Most community colleges in the smallest town in the world, you don't got to worry about here, at MATC. So it's great. I love it. But yeah, man, I just preach life. That's to me, it's, if you're going to be lazy on the court, you're going to be lazy in class as well. You're going to be lazy, all of that. We can't mess with you. That's why we released 8 guys this year.
Nah.
Yeah. Even though we 29-6, we released 8 guys. Great off the court, great people. So I don't want people to think that we just had a whole bunch of knuckleheads. No, there was great people. But it was knuckleheads to where we had study hall twice a week. You go in the study hall, but you still fail in certain classes. You fail in a person class that's running the study hall.
Oh, wow.
You doing 2 hours extra with her. You in here for 2.5 hours extra per week. And you fail in her class. Is to me, that's just crazy. We actually do certain stuff off the floor. We actually do certain stuff on the floor. You're not doing it. But you're doing everything on the floor. To me, it's not just about the floor. It's about everything, and so if you're doing that, you're not really trying to buy into what we're looking to do. So unfortunately, we're trying to look for somebody else who's going to buy in.
Yes, sir.
But we make sure you're straight. We make sure we get you to another school. We don't want you just leave you out here high and dry. That's not us. We're all good people, everything like that. We had a few players who passed away, on our team. So yeah, so it was one of our players ended up getting shot by his best friend. Come to find out he was bipolar. He had a lot of stuff mentally messed up with him. Then another player on our team literally just had his career night, transferred from Whitewater. It was his girlfriend's birthday. He was going right back home right after the game to go celebrate with them. And he got into a car accident a mile away from his house, literally off the exit. So it was unfortunate situation. It's called Opportunity 34. They started a foundation for him. Mm-hmm. They go to raise $10,000. I think they raised $140,000 in like 8 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they ended up giving us, I think they gave us so much to the school, athletics. And then the Bucks gave us some money. And that's how we actually got scholarships.
Nice. Yeah. Now, as we get ready to close out this phenomenal episode, can you just tell us a little bit to your why? Because my experience meeting you was at the Kenosha versus Racine All-Star game. You putting on a clinic for the young players to showcase their talents. Just give us a little bit about your why. Why is it that you go so hard and work so hard?
My brother passed away from epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Mark Woods. So that's why we run it under his name, Mark Your Moment. Mm-hmm. So like I said, he passed away from epilepsy, so we get back. And it's his name. I mean, it's like you can't go half at it. If it's if it's somebody that you're passionate about, it's family, anything like that, and if it's something that you love,
mm-hmm.
So it's, to me, you're not gonna go half on your podcast. You're not gonna just do a little bit of work. No, you're gonna go all out for it. So to me, it's about that, but then also too, it's about these players. It's about people trusting in you.
Mm.
as well. To me, all I got is my word. So if I tell you I'm gonna do this and try to do this and make sure you're okay to get to a college, all I got is my word. But once we do it, we had a great success rate. Our first 9 years, I think we was like at 83%.
Oh wow!
On getting kids to school. So we literally push. We got a great system. And as a college coach, I'm not gonna lie, I'm part of every recruiting service. So as a college coach, every recruiting service send you stuff. I'm like, all right. Most coaches don't look through it.
Oh, really?
I look through your best players. So I look through all your best players, and I'm like, all right, this kid can play he can play in college. 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 But they don't have no offers. I'm gonna invite them to my showcase. So I get all the best talent from here. Then the talent that I know, so then we get players from everywhere. Tennessee, Texas, Georgia. We even had a guy from Hawaii fly down, a guy from Africa fly down. We have them from a little bit from everywhere. So that's, the main focus behind it is his name, and then our word, and try to really get the relationships with the family. And then it actually helps us out at MATC as well, too. So building those relationships, you send them to a different school. We're in a time now where they got this thing called a transfer portal, where everybody want to transfer if it don't work out. So if it don't work out, they want to transfer, come here. So, and that's where we've been having all our success.
Yes, sir. Well, with that being said, young man, we appreciate you for having some time for Line podcast today. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Andrew McNairy, a.k.a. Coach Duke.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.